Hello, and welcome to another installment of the Pug's Thoughts in the Doghouse. I'm Pug, and here's what I'm thinking. Couple of announcements. First of all, I'd like to thank the Kit Harvey for commenting and subscribing. Thank you very much. I'm also going to respond to your comment in another video this week. Two, thanks to Doghouse for subscribing. Somebody who goes by the username Doghouse decided to subscribe, so thank you very much for that. And feel free to check out my blog at cwupulsepug.blogspot.com. And finally, I'm going to put out two videos this week because somebody got some comments from my videos last week, so I'm going to respond to those in another video. So check that out. Today we're going to talk a little bit of some NHL playoffs. That's right. The NHL playoffs are without a doubt one of my favorite postseason tournaments of the year. I get so pumped up for it. Before I talk about it, though, just a second, please. That's right. Got to rock out the New York Islanders. I got family on Long Island. The Islanders were the first professional team that I've ever seen, and I'm a fan. I wish that we did a little better, but I just wanted to support this and rock this out because I just want to say, you poor little New York Rangers. You missed the playoffs. You lost to the Philadelphia Flyers in a shootout. Oh, poor little baby Rangers. So I don't care what we did head-to-head. You missed the playoffs. Both New York teams stink this year. So, yeah, go Islanders. And I got absolutely no sympathy for you Ranger fans out there. I hate the Rangers with a passion. Anyway, so now since the bashing is out of the way, let's talk some NHL playoffs. Here are my predictions for the first round. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. And the number 1 seed, Washington Capitals, playing against the number 8 seed, Montreal Canadiens. I have Washington in 6 games. Granted, Montreal has an advantage in goal with Yaroslav Halak. He has a better save percentage and goals against average than Jose Theodore. But the Capitals are experienced now, and they also have they don't have the number 1 3 seed in the series, like playoff series before this one. And the Capitals are ready for a deep playoff run. Their competition as well in the Southeast Division has gotten a little tougher the last couple of years, so that has helped. Alexander Ovechkin is hungry, and I can see the series going 6 games because the regular season series was tied at 2 games apiece. But look for the Capitals to clinch this series. Now let's move on to the next series, which is between the number 2 seed New Jersey Devils and number 7 seed Philadelphia Flyers. Once again, Flyers, thanks for knocking out the New York Rangers. Yes. I really hesitate to do this because every time I doubt Martin Brodeur, he always ends up proving me wrong, and that's fine. But I'm going to say the Devils will lose this series because Philadelphia is hot right now, clinching the playoff berth on the last day of the regular season, and they also defeated the Flyers. They also defeated the Devils 5 times out of 6 games in the regular season, and they have a ton of momentum. So I have the Flyers in 6 games. The next up for the Eastern Conference is the number 3 seed Buffalo Sabres against the number 6 seed Boston Bruins. I'm rooting for the Sabres because I'm a huge Ryan Miller fan, and I was a huge Ryan Miller fan before the Olympics. But I'm going to go with Boston. Boston, like Philadelphia, is hot. They took down the Sabres 4 times out of 6 games this season. However, the key for Boston to win this series is having a dominant first period. If Boston is losing after the first period, they have a ridiculous record. I think it's something along the lines that they only won 5 games during the entire regular season when they were losing after the first period. So if the Bruins are going to win this series, they have to dominate the Sabres in the first period. And the key for the Sabres, if you want a shot at winning the series, it's all about Ryan Miller and possibly Vanek. I know Buffalo Sabre fans get a little bit upset that Vanek doesn't get any love, but possibly he needs to have a good series too. The last series in the Eastern Conference is the number 4 seeded Pittsburgh Penguins against the number 5 seed Ottawa Senators. Going with Pittsburgh, and I'm going to say it's going to be a sweep. Ottawa has only 1 big player on their team, and that's Daniel Alfredsson. Pittsburgh's got depth. I don't even need to list who they have. We all know they have Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and they also have the fact that this is their last season in Mellon Arena, so they have that going for them as well. I'm not saying Ottawa doesn't have a chance. I think they could potentially be competitive. Maybe we'll go 5 or 6 games, but my initial reaction, it's going to be Pittsburgh. So I have the Washington Capitals, Philadelphia Flyers, Boston Bruins, and Pittsburgh Penguins in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Now let's move to the Western Conference. we have a series against the number 1 seed San Jose Sharks and the number 8 seed Colorado Avalanche. Now, Colorado limped into the playoffs, and they almost blew their chance against Calgary with the last 2 weeks to go in the season. I think the Sharks will struggle, though, because they have had a ton of postseason collapses, and this is the time where they usually start to fall apart. I do have the Sharks winning in 6 games, though. I think they are a little better than Colorado, but this is going to be a really tight series because there's a ton of players on San Jose's team that lost to Anaheim last year in the first round. So I think it's going to be close, and I think San Jose will win, but I don't have the Sharks winning the I don't have the Sharks winning the Stanley Cup this year. Although if they do, my reaction will be it's about time. The second series is between the number 2 seed Chicago Blackhawks against the number 7 seed Nashville Predators. Going with the Blackhawks. They're ready to go all the way right now. They're coming off a year after they went to the Western Conference Championship Series. They have Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, and they solved their goaltending problem. And Nashville, they missed the playoffs last year, but they're a really young team, and I think they're going to get manhandled by Chicago Blackhawks because Chicago is very, very fast. I'm going to go with the Blackhawks in 5. The third series in the Western Conference is the number 3 seed Vancouver Canucks taking on the number 6 seed Los Angeles Kings. This series, I think, is going to go 7 games because Vancouver has a lot of trouble controlling the puck. And I know that is extremely basic, but I went to a Vancouver Canucks game, and they had trouble clearing using the boards, clearing the puck, handling, their scoring chances, and plus that's going to put a lot of pressure on Roberto Luongo. And the Kings are going to have a ton of adrenaline going into the series. They're a young team. I think this will be the closest series in the entire NHL playoffs in the first round. So I'm going to go with Vancouver in 7 games, though. By the way, congratulations to Hedrick Sedin for winning the scoring title. Finally, we have the number 4 seed Phoenix Coyotes and number 5 seed Detroit Red Wings. Sorry, Coyote fans, I'm going with the Red Wings. Detroit is like the NHL's version of the New York Yankees. They're in it until someone takes them down. And if Phoenix, if you can take them down, the better to you. That'd be awesome. But also Phoenix, to all you Coyote fans, you got to step it up because this playoff run could potentially save your team. If you sell your team, if you sell out your games, if you go out, buy jerseys and buy merchandise, you could make another statement why this team deserves to stay in Phoenix. Now, granted, they're filing, they've been dealing with bankruptcy problems, but Phoenix fans, you got to step it up for your team, and I think you will. I think it will happen. But I just think the Red Wings just have way more against the Coyotes in this series. I mean, as long as Jamie Howard's playing the way that he's playing, I can see Detroit winning in 6 games. So to recap, I have the San Jose Sharks, Chicago Blackhawks, Vancouver Canucks, and Detroit Red Wings in the second round of the Western Conference playoffs. So before I leave, here's my Stanley Cup Finals prediction. I got the Blackhawks over the Pittsburgh Penguins in about 6 games in the Stanley Cup championship round. So that will do it for this week. That will do it for this time. I'm going to make another video this week, so watch out for that. Until then, this has been another installment of the Pug's Thoughts in the Doghouse.